On 16th May 2012, Mumbai was put under shutdown following a politician's death.
See empty trains here in Mumbai today.
A woman posted her views on Facebook about the shutdown. The next day, she was arrested. Her friend who liked the post was also arrested.
Two young girls on the outskirts of Mumbai. Why were they arrested?
Within a few hours, they were released on bail. But in Delhi, a 21-year-old law student moved to the Supreme Court challenging the provisions of the controversial law that was used to arrest the woman earlier. The law criminalized offensive comments made through any electronic communication device.
3 years later, in a 52-page judgment, the Supreme Court struck down the provision as unconstitutional on the ground that it violates freedom of expression.
It's a big victory. Struck down Section 66.
The judgment was a watershed moment.
Landmark judgment coming in from the
Section 66A.
की आजादी पर सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने बड़ा फैसला सुनाया है.
But the existence of such laws is not the only issue. Fast forward to 2021. The courts around the country are shut, and this highlights a problem that has been plaguing the judiciary for a long time now: pending court cases. And this peaked even further during the ongoing pandemic.
According to a report, at the current rate of disposal, it will take us more than 324 years to clear these backlogs. And when the study was conducted in 2018, the cases were here. But since then, the cases have skyrocketed.
So suddenly courts had to shut and had to move to online hearings, and we didn't have the infrastructure to enable that at a large scale. So, whatever pendency problem was there before the pandemic, that just got worse.
A land dispute case in Doshipura, Varanasi began back in 1878 under the British rule. After numerous court sessions and a century later, the verdict was delivered in 1981. India was an independent country by then. And this is an example of how long court cases can run in India.
Thousands of such cases are stuck in courts for decades now. On average, it takes almost 5 years and 2 months to resolve a case in India. Compared to other countries, the number is alarming, not just from the point of view of aggrieved party who may no longer be interested in the outcome, but also from the toll that it would take on the presiding officers. We spoke to a person whose case has been pending in the courts for more than 20 years now.
मेरा केस चल रहा है 98 से 20 से 25 लाख मेरा सब केस में एक्सपेंस हो गया है अभी. फिर भी एंड के प्रकार मेरी 2 बेटी बड़ी, उसमें पढ़ते वक्त वो लोग ट्यूशन करते थे, वो सब करते थे, लेकिन वो मेरी कमाई से नहीं, उनकी खुद से कमाई से. तो इसीलिए सब इफेक्ट होता है, फैमिली पे भी इफेक्ट होता है.
The Indian judiciary consists of district courts and tribunals, followed by high courts and lastly the Supreme Court. Even though the clearance rate differs from court to court, new cases are added every single day and leftover cases trickle down to a pile of pending cases and the burden keeps on increasing. While there's a sanctioned number of judges required to run the system, almost a quarter of the seats are lying vacant. And the problem is worse in high courts, where the vacancy is as high as 39%.
Interestingly, in the last 40 years, there has never been a time when all the vacancies in the high courts have been filled. Partly because of the cumbersome process of appointment of judges. To fill up a vacancy, the High Court Collegium sends its recommendation to the state government, which then sends it to the Union Law Ministry for verification, which then finally sends it to the Supreme Court Collegium for final approval.
In some cases, the seats in high courts have been lying vacant since 2015, which means more delay. India currently has 20 judges for 1 million people. Comparing it with other countries, the US has 107 and Canada has 75 judges per million population. Less number of judges means more pressure on the existing strength of judges.
Adding to this problem is also the number of working days. Here is a calendar of Supreme Court with all the holidays. Usually, a judge in Supreme Court works for 193 days, in High Court for 210 days and in Subordinate Court for 245 days. Furthermore, no other set of working professionals like doctors or lawyers, which can be compared professionally with the judges, takes such a long break in our country. While the work of judges involves a lot of reading, writing and research, month-long vacation drastically reduces the productivity of our courts.
Then there's also budget constraint. We only spend 0.5% of the GDP on judiciary. This budget restriction translates to poor infrastructure and shortage of staff. Ideally, every judge should have a courtroom. But even if all the vacancies were filled up, we would still fall short of courtrooms.
But how do you solve the problem of no court halls being in existence? we are short on 4,000 court halls.
This delay and inaccessibility to justice affects the perception and hampers public confidence in the judiciary.
20 से 25 लाख मेरा सब केस में एक्सपेंस हो गया है अभी, फिर भी अभी मैं न्याय नहीं मिल रहा है अभी। मैंने रविशंकर प्रसाद को भी बार-बार लिखा, लेकिन वो लोग कुछ आंसर ही नहीं देते। क्यू आर इन क्यू।
The judiciary has been trying to solve this problem for a long time now, and the pandemic has made things more difficult. They are now looking towards technology for a possible solution.
If it's an online hearing, in the comfort of your home or your office, you can actually attend the online hearing. For a litigant who has decent internet and has devices to access the internet, it's actually probably more convenient to attend an online hearing than a physical hearing. But of course, the digital divide does exist in India. It plays out on various registers, whether it's class, region, and gender. The success of online hearings also depends on the skill and capacity of the lawyer to handle this kind of a hearing. So you need lawyers who are comfortable with using the internet, who have the equipment to attend these online hearings, which are often in the district courts the lawyers don't have.
The process of revamping the Indian judiciary has begun. And while the technological efforts look promising, the problem of digital divide cannot be ignored. And it would be interesting to see what the future of Indian judiciary holds, given that more number of pending cases have been added because of the pandemic.